Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Today I wanted to do something a little different with this channel. I wanted to see if somebody with little to no filmmaking or cinematography experience, such as myself, can properly light a scene. So I've got a really simple setup that I've created in our living room, and I'm going to go through this video kind of like light by light and show you how I, as a beginner, would set that up. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. So since this is the 11th video of this channel, I kind of wanted to go through like an informal introduction as to who I am, the face behind all these videos. All I've done so far is throw a bunch of like short films and microfilms at you guys. And thanks for watching those, by the way. And yeah, I just wanted to kind of put a face to the channel. So my name is Harrison. I am a mechanical engineer by trade who just happens to have a passion for filmmaking. So I have had the opportunity to work on some really cool stuff in my career so far. Things ranging from missile systems to spacecraft to commercial jet turbines, and I feel very fortunate to have been able to work on the things that I've worked on so far in my career. So kind of diving into the filmmaking side of things, back in high school about 10 years ago now, I wanted to dive into why I kind of had this obsession over the films that I watched. It was never enough for me to watch these movies that we all probably grew up watching. I couldn't just watch them once or twice or 10 times or 15 times. I had to really dive in on why what I was watching made me feel a certain way. From a lighting standpoint, from the music, from the acting, the visuals, the storytelling. I love a great story, and it was just a lot of fun. So I proceeded to do what most teenage filmmakers did back in the day, and even today. I made a YouTube channel. And I proceeded to make some of the most groundbreaking, revolutionary, blockbuster internet sensations that the world has seen to date. And I did this with my closest friends, most of which I still talk to today. So fast forward about 10 years through college and some career time here, and just a few months ago now, I really wanted to pick a camera back up, kind of more deeply explore what this means to me. So in the life of this channel, which I think started in May of this year, 2023, I've definitely dialed it back on the ambition level that high school Harrison had, and I'm trying to focus more on the basics like the lighting, the cinematography, the framing, the shot composition, working on some audio as well, really just trying to learn the basics. And I've been doing this with the help of my wife, who has been awesome. She helps me in pretty much every video in some kind of way, whether it be being the subject matter or the person behind the camera or helping me set up some kind of like lighting rig. She always helps. Thanks, babe. So anyways, without further ado, let's get into the video and see how I lit this scene as a beginning cinematographer. Also, I will be linking all the gear that I have, none of which is just super high-tech or fancy, but is great for beginners, in the description below if you want to see what I have. Anyways, I hope you enjoy the video. So here was my first choice for filming this scene. Unfortunately, it was my first mistake, which I will get into later. Here is the scene. I'm on our couch acting like I can read, and I'm discovering here that it can be used as kind of like a bounce card to lift some shadows on the dark side of my face there. And here I'm realizing that my lens is a bit dirty, and so I use some of these Zeiss lens wipes. They're like a dime a dozen. They're definitely worth having. There's no reason to not carry a lot of these with you whenever you film pretty much anything. And so now I'm getting my Godox SL60W light set up. So this is kind of my attempt to wrap the light around my face a little bit to give some more dimension and kind of enhance the light coming in the window. And then here's kind of a before with just the window light, and then the after with the Godox light added. So now I'm trying to set up this lamp behind me, and this is where things kind of get screwy. I added this lamp in the background to add some overall texture and warmth to the picture. It felt kind of just flat, and I like the color of it, and I like how it gives me kind of like an edge light there on the side of my face. Problem is, it is super blown out, and this camera doesn't have just the best dynamic range. I had to expose for that light because it's super blown out, like it's just a white hot ball of mess. And so this is me trying to kind of compensate for the brightness of that lamp so that I don't lose all the information up there. But unfortunately, in doing this, it made the rest of the image very dark. And so I ended up cranking up that Godox light up to 100%, which unfortunately did not fix the issue entirely. It looks okay, but it's a little dark for what I wanted. So here I'm doing two things in this step. I'm kind of trying to open up and close the aperture in the lens to find a happy medium between exposing for the brightness of that lamp, but letting in enough light to not just make the entire shot way too dark. And I'm also adding this Elgato key light, which, don't worry, there are much cheaper versions of a key light you can buy on Amazon. I'll link those below. And here's kind of the before and after without and then with the key light. Definitely adds a bit more brightness to the image, and we can see some more detail in the scene. And then here I'm getting a bit desperate. I just got up and turned on my bar lights in my kitchen area just off screen left there, and I don't think that it really added a whole lot, but it was worth the shot. So I'm turning around here because up here behind me I've added a small square puck light. It's an Ulanzi brand RGB puck light that I use almost all the time in all my videos. And I was trying to get kind of like a rim light look with it, like a hair light. You can kind of see me trying to show what I was going for there. Unfortunately, it just wasn't quite bright enough where I had it placed to make the cut. And so here I've done a wardrobe change. I wanted to add some more color into the picture just to make the shot more interesting, and so I threw on a yellow shirt to kind of contrast all the greens that we have in there. And the white shirt I felt like just blended in too much with the white light that we already had in there. I threw in this Ulanzi light next to my face to kind of emphasize the glow of the lamp light, add some more warmth and a bit more fill on that side of my face. And here we are going light by light. This is just the living room window light that I was telling you about earlier, and then we add the Skodox SL60W light, and then there is the Elgato key light. This is the addition of the lamp, and then finally that Ulanzi light, which is bringing some warmth and a bit more light to the shadow side of my face there. So here's kind of the before and after of every shot. So that was just the window light there, and then here's the end result. I put a very minor grade on each one of these, kind of going for like a teal and orange look. Looks pretty decent. That was just a standard picture profile. This one was shot at S-Log2, overexposing by about +2, trying to preserve some of that dynamic range of my camera. And then this final one was shot in Cine 4, which I love, but the reds are always a bit too much. I always have to dial back the reds a little bit, and so I need to probably go on my camera and fix those settings in camera. Here was the setup that I used. Tripod there in the foreground, the big light, lamp there. Ulanzi just sat on the couch on a tripod. If you recall, towards the beginning of the breakdown of this scene, I mentioned that I made a mistake with the choice of the lens. So I'm using a Sony ZV-E10, which has an APS-C style sensor, which crops the picture in by a factor of 1.4 with whatever lens you use. So using a 50mm, I was really using more of a 70mm. I should have chosen a much wider lens so that I could have stretched out the background a bit more, and you could have seen the edge of this window, because I was kind of missing the point of light motivation here by not showing you the practical light source being the window. By not showing you that, motivating it with these key lights didn't really make a whole lot of sense. So definitely a rookie mistake, but that's why I'm making this video. Alright, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. If you would have done something different with the setup that I had going, please let me know. I don't really know anybody in my personal life who does any kind of like filmmaking stuff, so kind of like online criticism is where I get most of my learnings from. So yeah, definitely let me know. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.